Hi, this is Micornus, Phokane, the leader and the founder of Church Governance Solutions. I want to speak about unacceptable relationships that are currently in the church of today, unacceptable relationships that are present in the church of today. And we want to deal with this so that we can be aware of how people relate with each other in the church of today. And that is in a manner that is unacceptable. And that is in a manner that is not really a good manner in the church of today. And these are relationships that are very common in the church of today. We have seen a lot of people not relating in a godly manner in the church, and that is the reason why we want to speak about this so that we can know how not to relate with people in the church, but rather relate with the people in a better manner. Unacceptable relationships in the church of today. Now, the first one that I want to speak about is taking advantage of one another. Taking advantage of one another. We have seen this happening in churches. We have seen this very, very common in the churches of today, whereby there are classes in churches where people are treating each other differently, whereby others have been taken advantage of, and we have seen this happening. And because there are others that are really good people and people that are having very, very good intentions in the church, but yet they are being taken advantage of. This type of spirit in relationship, we have seen it happening even with members taking advantage of their own pastors, whereby if the pastor is a good pastor who's having a good heart at the right place, we have seen congregations taking advantage of pastors. And on contrary as well, we've seen pastors that take advantage of their own members as well. Now, this is a very, very common spirit that happens in the church of today. There are people that are taken advantage of just because they've got some resources with themselves, for themselves. Pastors then take advantage of those because these particular individuals, they've got money, they're taken advantage of, and therefore going to an extent of even borrowing money from them and not returning it. And these are the disadvantages, or these are the challenges of relationships that we see in the church of today. There are those that are hardworking in the church, and some of the members of the church would actually take advantage of those. And therefore, they themselves sit back and don't get involved with the work of the church because there are those that are actually committed and always being busy to do the work of the Lord. And they are being taken advantage of because they are committed to do the work. They are committed to do everything that is supposed to be done in the church. And therefore, they are being overworked because others, when they look to them, they decide, let's not work because there are people that are working. And this is the type of spirit that is unacceptable in the church, yet it is very common right now in the church of today, taking advantage of one another. And we want to equivocally rebuke this type of spirit and without fear of favor, emphasize that this is not the spirit of the Lord, and therefore it cannot be acceptable in our churches, yet it is very, very common in the churches. And I want to warn members that take advantage of other members that that is not the spirit of God. Therefore, please stop doing that. And pastors that are taking advantage of their own members that are taking advantage of their own pastors as well, that is very much unacceptable. The other way of relationship that we see very common in the church, and that is unacceptable, is holding grudges and malice with each other. So whereby one person does mistake to you, and therefore you hold grudges to them. And you think that that is a good thing. And we have seen the people in churches that are not talking to each other anymore. We have seen people in churches that are not relating appropriately with each other anymore because they are holding grudges because of the mistakes of the past. And that cannot be godly spirit. And I want to emphasize that if you are one person who is holding grudges with other people, therefore please stop that spirit because that is the spirit of the devil. And remember that holding grudges will actually cause you to do evil against other people, do evil against your own brethren. And remember that that type of a spirit will actually make you to hate other people and not actually participate in anything that they do. And I want to emphasize the fact that as a child of God, therefore, you cannot actually continue holding grudges against other people. And we have seen that the spirit of holding grudges against each other, what it does, it actually causes divisions upon the church. People cannot work together anymore because they are holding grudges against each other by mistakes that has happened in the past. And some of the people hold grudges against people that really never made any really significant mistake against them. It's just that they've got this underlying spirit of hatred that will actually hate others and hold grudges against them and be malicious against them in everything that they do. We have seen people that act funny, people that act in a very, very untoward manner towards others, and purely because they're holding grudges against them. And those people that hold grudges in the churches tend to actually go even behind the back of the people and gossip and backbite against them so that they can actually recruit other members to hate the very same person and not fellowship with them at all. And this is a spirit that we want to rebuke right now and want to emphasize that it is unacceptable in the church. And if in any manner you are part of this particular spirit, this is a spirit not to continue with in a church, because you cannot call yourself a child of God yet hold grudges against other people. These are behaviors that we see, and these are relationships that we see in the church of today, and we want to rebuke that right now amongst the members, amongst the leaders. We want to rebuke that because it causes division, and you cannot progress with the vision of the church because of what is happening by holding grudges, by being malicious against other people, by taking advantage against other people. And that is a cause of concern because it's a spirit that is very common in the churches. And I want to emphasize also that if you're dealing with this type of a spirit, you must be aware that you're having this type of a spirit. Because the problem is many people never agree that they're having such spirit, and therefore it becomes difficult for them to accept and acknowledge that they've got a certain untoward spirit that they need to deal with. And remember, you cannot deal with what you don't acknowledge. You must first acknowledge the fact that you've got this type of a spirit, and therefore be able to get rid of it or deal with it in your life. And if you are struggling to do, please have somebody who can help you, even professional help that can help you. You may need counseling. You may need somebody to pray with you against this spirit. You may need deliverance as well about this type of spirits. And please, because this type of spirits are not the spirits in a good manner of the church. So therefore, they are unacceptable, and there are spirits that need to be gotten rid of. And if you are aware that you got such spirit, please deal with it within yourself. I want to end up here today. Your host, Micornus, Phokane. Thank you very much for listening to us and being part of this great topic. This was part one. Of course, I would love to invite you as we deal with part two tomorrow. Before I check out, remember our Facebook page, Micornus Phokane, and also the Facebook page which speaks about church governance solutions. Please like those. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well and be notified when we've got videos. May the good Lord bless you. Allow me to check out right here and say cheers for now.